Hey, it's SickBoy from the Gaming Ass Collective, and welcome to the first of our top 10 list of Dickheads. Okay, the criteria for getting into this list is you have to have done something over the last month that has been massively dickish, that I could just describe you as a dickhead. Now, this can be an organisation or an individual person. In some cases, where so many people in one organisation do so many dickish things, I'm just going to have to put them all together because, to be honest, I don't want this to be a top 100, otherwise this will go on forever. So, number 10, and that is Tameem of Ninja Theory. The reason that he has got the top 10 spot is he's not done anything all that much in the last month, but that's actually also the reason he's here. This is the man who decided he'd take on the internet, that he thought he could just run his mouth, upset people, and when all of the people who supported his game, they supported him, and then as soon as launch came and it didn't sell that well, I don't care about sales, blah 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 blah, and then gone. Where is he? He's like Scotch mist. Can't find him. He's buggered off. He shut down his Twitter account. He's shaved his head, which I'm guessing is because people keep taking the piss out of him that he looks like Dante. Because now, he's turned up at the Sony press conference and he's just shaving his head, which is very funny. And yeah, he's run away and left all his fans in the lurch. All his supporters, all the people who stood up for him, saying he has the right to say what he wants and he knows what he's talking about. No, you don't. Continuity-wise, I've just filmed this after doing my previous video, so I still have my champagne. I'm not just chain drinking bottles of champagne. As much as that'd be nice, I'm afraid, can't stretch that far. So, number 9 is Michael Pachter. Michael Pachter, if you guys will recall, if you watched the video, I had a massive tirade about this twat. He's a financial analyst who generally makes stupid bloody decisions. But in this case, he just vastly doesn't understand retail and went out and slagged off UK game retail, not understanding that they cannot physically sell at the asking price. And he's a fucking moron. So he gets number 9. So he gets fairly twattish, but, quite high up the rank. 8 is Capcom. They are dickheads because they have had to revise their sales again. And this just kind of proves what dickheads they are. And people know what dickheads they are. They have lost out big time on sales. They had to slash the Devil May Cry sales to a projected 1.2 million, which they may not even make. They had to slash Resident Evil quite substantially as well. They're not going to make the 7 million units sold that they want. They have had to cut their projections massively in order to not fail when it comes to the end of year. So, you're dickheads. That is you at number 8. Number 7 is almost every single gaming journalist, because there's been a massive shitstorm surrounding games, surrounding gamers. There's been lots of controversy, and most of you twats, the best most of you done have either sat on the fence, you've defended video game companies for being money-hungry tossbags, you've supported them left, right and centre, you didn't speak out enough, most of you, when it came to the video game violence debate, and basically, you're a bunch of worthless twats. So, most gaming journalists under number 7. Number 6 specifically, I just covered him in a previous video, Cliffy B, telling everyone to stop complaining and vote with your wallets. Well, 1, people are voting with the wallets. 2, as I said before, shut the fuck up. People can complain if they fucking well like, you gobby prick. I don't know why people are coming to him for comment, really, while they're reading this man's blog. I mean, he doesn't even work for a gaming company anymore. He's just some old tosser. So, anyway. 5. Every anti-game politician. I've mentioned a few of them before, but, people like Leland G, who said gamers have to just basically pipe down. It's not, big boys are talking now, you're not allowed to discuss anything. All of you tossers who have come out and used the terrible bloody shootings in Newton, Connecticut, and turning it into your own political soapbox, all of you are my number 5 dickheads of the month. Number 4, mostly the same old people you're going to see in number 4, top 5 I'm going to guess. 4 is Ubisoft, for the way they've handled Rayman, for the way they pulled it as a Wii U exclusive, the way they've delayed it for bloody ages, and made it multi-plat, but they've got the game. The game has been made and it's ready to be released on the Wii U, and they won't release it. You dickheads. Ubisoft, you fucking dickheads. Massively dickheads. Number 3 is Sony, with the PlayStation 4 announcement. Although they've made some they made some interesting news. One, they didn't show the console. That's fairly dickish of them because they haven't finalised the design yet. They're just trying to pip Microsoft to the post. Although it doesn't have an online connection. They have confirmed not backwards compatible. They've also confirmed that just because they've said, some people have taken it that they're not going to ban used games. However, they have still put the option in there to allow publishers to ban used games. So that's as good as banning used games, because the big boys are going to ban it. That's what's going to happen. You facilitated it. Sony, you fucking dickheads. Oh, pardon me, bubbles are getting to me. Number 2, and this would normally be in the number 1 spot if something had happened the other day, which I haven't covered, so I'm going to cover at length now. In a minute anyway. EA. Everything you have done this month, EA. Your dicks. Your SimCity launch, your microtransactions, your subsequent flip-flopping on microtransactions, your... just everything about you. Your bullshit gay rights campaign that people are seeing right straight through. Everything about you makes you dickheads. And this one, number 1 dickhead. Before I do number 1 dickhead, I am just going to do a quick breakdown of the top 9 dickheads to do with the gaming industry before I go off on this last one big time. Right, number 10, Tameem of Ninja Theory. Number 9, Michael Pachter. Number 8, Capcom. Number 7, almost every single gaming journalist. Number 6, Cliffy B. Number 5, anti-game politicians. All of them all lumbered together because otherwise they'd just be an entire list all on their own. Ubisoft. Number 3, Sony. Number 2, EA. Now you might be asking yourself, what has trumped EA in dickishness this month? And it's something that I haven't covered yet, and I wanted to cover it in great lengths. It's something I have a genuine amount of passion for, and I want to cover it now. Right. Number 1, dickhead of the month, is PETA. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Now, PETA have decided they are going to protest about Assassin's Creed 4. Those of you who know Assassin's Creed 4, it's going to be based in a similar time period to Assassin's Creed 3, and it's going to basically be Pirates of the Caribbean Assassin's Creed. You're going to play Connor's grandfather from Assassin's Creed 3, and as part of the game, there is whaling. You can harpoon whales. So they've decided to make it a big deal because digital game... Now, people have made comments about this before, and I know that, say, Alpha Omega Sin made a video about it, and he commented about it, and made a really funny tirade about it. I recommend checking it out. It was funny. Now, this is going to be a serious one, because I have serious problems with PETA. And this is an opportunity for me to set the record straight online for what I think about them. Now, cards on the table. I am, by trade, a scientist. Okay? I have engaged in medical testing as part of my training. I have experimented on rats to test medication hypothesis. And I can tell you, 1, no one enjoys doing it. 2, it is only a necessary thing. 3, it's entirely humane. 4, it is entirely for the benefit of humanity. Now, with regards to animal abuse, I totally support animal rights. I support animal rights in principle. But the fact is that PETA comes against... 1, they talk about cosmetic testing. Now, I'm not entirely sure about in America, but in the EU, and this is where I know my shit here, as of 2012, there is absolutely no cosmetic testing on animals. Most of it was banned back in 2010. There's none. Absolutely none. It was decreasing year on year, but it actually then became mandated by law. There is nothing, no testing for cosmetics on animals. Absolutely none. Okay, so all of that bullshit that they talked to you about, rubbish. Doesn't actually happen. With regards to medical testing, really, genuinely, I consider medical testing a necessary evil. Now, it's something that, as scientists, now, by trade, I don't know how to talk about me personally, but by trade, I'm a toxicologist. That's my training. I deal in the safety of medicines and substances on the human body. I've also worked with animal health as well. Now, you have to have a certain burden of proof in order to show that something is safe. So in order to have a new medication, you need to be sure that before you put it into people, you have done everything possible to show it won't be harmful. Because that's not ethical. And people who've said, oh, we'll just grab people in prisons and experiment on them, that's also not ethical. To put it into perspective, 80% of all animals that are killed during medical testing, I think it's more than 80% actually, is rats. Yeah, 80% is rats. People give a shit about rats. Rats that are treated well, fed, and then humanely put to sleep. Does anyone really care about rats? 80% of it is rats. There are a couple, and I'll tell you the genuine horrible shit here, a couple of them we have to use primates. We have to use monkeys and apes. The reason for this is there's certain medication that is specific to our immune system, and the only thing we can test that on, other than human beings, are primates. We also use pigs, because pigs are very close to us, but ultimately, with a couple of really niche products that are really, really specific to the human immune system, you do have to use a very, very small number of primates. Now that is unpleasant, but ultimately, the way I see it is, would you rather kill 1,000 rabbits or watch a child die of leukemia? What would you prefer? Would you rather kill 1,000 rabbits or die of diabetes? And do you know what? Here's the pisser about Peter. Here's what fucks me off more than anything about them. Their actual vice president, I think it's their vice president, has diabetes and takes insulin. These fuckers take medication. They might be vegan. They might not eat meat. They might get away on that front, but they take bloody medication. What they're doing is they're acting like archaic, bloody flame-wielding, torch-bearing fuckheads coming against scientists and threatening death. Threatening death. Genuinely. Animal rights activists. There was a group of people who bred guinea pigs, okay, for testing. And a group was so offended by this that they went and dug up the farmer's dead mum and kidnapped her body. Until they shut down their operation. And that man was so distraught, he gave up his business and lost his livelihood just so he could get his rotting mother's corpse back. That is not the act of a humane creature. That is the act of a terrorist and a fucking monster. And that is why PETA suck. Not because it's flippant that they're going against video games. Not that they're attention seekers. But the fact that they're fucking monsters. That not only do they stand against scientific progress, that they threaten the lives of people who are researching into treatments for cancer and diabetes and malaria. And these people actually are looking to treat and increase the health of human beings. And you're threatening them because the only way they can prove certain things is to sacrifice a small number of animals. And it is a very small number of animals. Put it this way, I think it's something along the lines of 1 million animals per year are sacrificed globally for medical testing. Now that includes rats, mice, loads of little rodents and things. Now, 1 billion chickens are slaughtered for meat every year. 1 billion. So don't talk about medical science being the great evil of animal testing, because I've been in those labs. I've been to Huntingdon Life Sciences. If you're in the UK, you know what that place is. And I've seen their beagles. I've seen the beagles that they put on posters. They're happy. They're looked after. The technicians love those dogs. It is a necessary evil. And you people are fucking monsters. Absolute fucking monsters for the way you behave. And not only that, you run a policy in the US where you free animals. Yeah? You free them. Anyone know what they do with these animals? Does anyone want to guess what they do? What they do? They actually lock them in a freezer and let them die. And then they dump them in bins. Yep. A couple of the PETA employees were arrested in the US for dumping frozen dog corpses in dumpsters. They are saving dogs from refuges, from animal testing, and then they're going out and they're freezing them to death. It's been proved. Anyone watches Penn and Teller's bullshit, they've actually identified and they've found that they bought a massive freezer unit. Now, considering they're all vegetarians, they would have no reason for that massive freezing unit. They have it, and it turns out, and they've admitted it, they have it because they execute animals. They freeze them to death. These are the people that we're laughing at with their flippancy for going up against Assassin's Creed 3 or the Tanuki suit. This is not a laughing matter. These people are fucking terrorist scumbags. They should be considered a fucking terrorist organisation. As a lot of the groups who they fund are considered terrorist organisations. They threaten people's lives, they lie, they mistreat people, and then they try and take cheap shots on video games, and that's the least of the reasons I think they're dickheads, but that is why they are my number one dickheads of the month. Fuck you, Peter. And anybody who finds animal testing unpleasant, I can assure you, you would rather, if you had the choice, seeing your loved one die or seeing a few animals put to sleep. Genuinely. With regards to farming, battery farming, that's a different matter. Animal rights for livestock? Absolutely. But these freaks don't want rights for them. They actually want to give them all equal human rights to people. They want to treat these animals as if they are actually as important as a human being. Now that is fucking batshit. Now if you've got a pet and you love it like a member of your family, that's one thing. But if you're going to say, if a fox runs across the road and you hit it, you've committed manslaughter and should go to prison, because that's what they're saying. These people are fucking loopy, and unfortunately it's not a laughing matter. They're a fucking disgrace. And if you see them, you ever have these people talk to you, know that the people who they are talking about as monsters are professionals who are doing things for, one, legally they have to in order to prove how things work. Farmers generally have much better practices than they ever did. They should have better practices. If they're talking about dogfighting, badger baiting, all this and that, absolutely, that's a case of animal welfare. And there's already organisations who do it. There's already animal welfare who deal with that. Those organisations are already in place. PETA are a bunch of worthless, money whores at best, and fucking monsters at worst. Fuck them. If you support them, really look at them. And if you genuinely think supporting terrorists, advocating murder, firebombing people because they might have killed a couple of dozen rats this month, get a grip. Check some reality. Seriously. It's ridiculous. You're making decent people look like monsters. And then you're acting like monsters yourselves. Anyway. That was... I got a bit dark in the end there. Sorry about that, but I had to get that tirade off my chest. And that is my top 10 gaming industry dickheads for March 2013. Catch you guys later.